G'day folks, welcome to the first of what I hope will be a fair few videos on my playthrough of GTNH New Horizons. Before we take a bit of a tour, I just want to get a couple of things out of the way since this is the first upload. So first of all, as you may notice, this is an existing world. I started playing the pack back in May. I'm currently at EV, just about to enter IV. I did take a bit of a break for a few weeks. I think it was about a month. I only came back to this world a couple of days ago, and I've just spent the last day or so fixing all the broken stuff from leaving the server on unattended for a month. This is a solo run on a 24/7 dedicated server that I have running in my house. Everything to do with the run, so server setup, any config changes I've made, various other resources that I'm just sort of noting down for my own convenience, links to spreadsheets, etc. All of that is being tracked on a GitHub repo that will be in the channel description. In terms of config changes, though, the big ones are probably the the disabling of pollution. Pollution just doesn't really appeal to me. I can see for some people it adds that little extra challenge, but I'm just not into it. I've also changed the Formcraft config to allow me to buy research with points rather than play the minigame. The reason for that is mostly just time saving, to be honest, but also the minigame just doesn't really appeal to me. I am playing this quite casually. I do play probably at least a couple of hours every day, but I am playing at a very fairly slow pace, to be honest. My only GTNH experience prior to this pack is Nomi Factory CEU hard mode, where I nearly got to LUV before I quit Minecraft in general for a few months, and it was after that few months that I came back to GTNH. So I just wanted to share my run with the world. GTNH is a very good mod pack. It's very fun. You can see the love that's gone into it by the development team, and it's also it's also a very good show of the technical prowess of the dev team as well. Things like Angelica and Java 21 support, etc. So I have to give big props to the GTNH devs for building this experience. And just on that front, before we get into things, I also just want to give a quick shout out to Carix82 and Threefold. Their respective series were big inspirations for me to push on with the pack, and to push on with the pack. So if you haven't ever watched their GTNH content or Threefold's other mod pack runs, then I do suggest you check them both out. They're both great. They're both great content creators. I have seen a lot of other great GTNH content as well, and the GTNH Discord is a great community. But obviously, those two are the two that I've sort of watched the most. So I think that's it for the intro, or for the formalities. So this is just my very, very early area. This used to be where my crafting stations were, etc. These drawers are still full of coins, so I've just never bothered to move. I do still have a working power setup in the overworld. That setup is only powering this, which is my titanium blast furnace setup. I just haven't been bothered to move this into my void world, but that will probably happen in the next couple of weeks, maybe. I have the T1 rocket. I've not built the T2 yet. I have the T2 schematic from the Moon Dungeon, but I've not actually worked towards building the rocket yet. So I only have the T1 right now. These are my old IC2 crop breeding patches. I'm never going to get the time back that I spent breeding crops. I started crops way too early. I should have waited until stick read's easy enough to get, but for the others, I should have probably waited until I had the dislocator wand or at least world accelerators, because the long breeding time coupled with the RNG on seed bags is not great. But I didn't come out of it empty-handed. I got Star Warts, so I haven't bred these. I haven't fully bred these yet, so I'm gonna breed these up and have a field of Star Warts. That's pretty much it for the overworld. It's effectively a museum now. So I guess the other thing I probably haven't mentioned is my goal for this run. So this is surface view. The coke ovens aren't doing anything anymore. The ACOs are still going though, providing charcoal to the single distillery that's down there. But yeah, in terms of goal, I'm currently looking at T7 or T8 rocket. I have written T8 rocket on my GitHub page. But I'll see how I feel as I progress through the tiers. The part that I've definitely not decided yet is whether or not I'm doing a gate run, or whether I'm going to go to gate. Stargate is a big accomplishment, but it also requires a lot of time, especially for a solo player. So we'll see how I feel as I progress further through the pack, but I may try and go for gate. It is a big achievement to get gate in GTNH. So what we'll do is we'll visit my other world. So you may notice I have 2 P-space portals here. When I got the first one after the moon, I created this world. So this is a ocean. I edited the config file to allow me to create an ocean world, and mainly for aesthetics, because with shaders this looks really nice. The weather looks really nice in this world when it's raining, etc., and it looks really nice at night with shaders. But it's a bit of a pain to build in. The water makes it a bit annoying to build in, and I could probably get the squid backpack that would give me water breathing, and that would probably solve it. But even with the nano suit, I still move slower in water, and it's quite annoying, to be honest. So what I did is I have given myself a second personal space portal, where I have used the proper void preset to create an actual void world. And the aim is that over the next couple of weeks, I will move all of this. There's nothing in either of these 2 towers. I'll move all of this to the void world and go with the void world, because it's just easier to build in all honesty. But for now, what I have is I have a basic AE system with basic auto crafting. I have an extremely laborious to build power setup with 20 HV gas turbines, going into 12 EV batteries. In the void world, these will be replaced with multi-block turbines in the void world. But we'll check the void world out shortly. There's not much in there, but we'll check out what I've got. I'm running my blast furnace at IV. I've got the 2 EV energy hatches. Clean room over there on its lovely little stilts. I have basic auto crafting for all the like wires and alloys and various other bits. These are all HV. I do have some auto crafting EV over here. All these assemblers, EV assemblers, and the EV mixer. And yeah, lathe, forward solidifier, etc. This is the multi-block plate bending machine, which I'm just running at HV right now. This is where I do my IC2 and B breeding now that I'm sane and have decided to actually build a world accelerator. There's a chicken. He's been stuck down there for a very, very long time. And in the brick building is my power setup. So I just decided to spam advanced coke ovens. These were not fun to build either. They're not really tedious. They're just very time consuming to build. At least at the time when I built them anyway. But they work. But in the Void world, I have built a industrial coke oven, which is faster than all of these put together, and will replace all of these. I used the railcraft tank for the benzene simply because I think railcraft tanks look cool. In the Void world, I had planned to use a super tank for benzene. This stores 4,000 buckets as well, so this is the same size as a super tank one. But I may use a higher tier of railcraft tank instead, simply because I think they look cool, but we'll see. I am playing with a resource pack, as you can probably tell. It's the Sphax Pure BD Craft pack, but I've made some changes I've made a few changes of my own, but a lot of the textures are largely from the community over at BD Craft. I'm not using any textures for Greg Tech, or not many for Greg Tech, because I think a lot of the Greg Tech machines look fine as they are. And then this is where I'm processing the ashes from the benzene setup, and I've got passive steel off of that as well. And then the big chunk of stuff is over here in my what I call my resource center. In what I call my resource center. So this is all self-powered with cetane boosted diesel coming from refined bees upstairs. So this is all to produce CBD, and also I am processing salt water to get chlorine, etc. I do ore processing here as well, so I have the ore washers, the smelter. This LCR is doing nothing but processing platinum combs, and I've accumulated 2,500 buckets of platinum concentrate. I really need to build a platinum line. What I've been doing in the meanwhile is I've been making platinum the hard way by using the platinum metallic powder in the blast furnace to make the platinum nuggets. Because I have a yellow stone lily farm, and I think it's the nickel bee. There's one bee that gives me platinum combs as secondary output. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's the nickel bee. So I've been building platinum the hard way, or making platinum the hard way. I really need to do the plat line. But this is the refined bee setup. So this is the refined bee setup where the bees output diesel and oil. So there's only 6 of them at max production, but they seem to be keeping up with the power usage downstairs. And then these are all my resource bees. I'm not going to go through all of them, but basically the important ones that I've gotten so far are the vibrant alloy bee for conduits, the pulsating iron bee for item conduits, vibrant alloys for the ender fluid conduits. I have the explosive bee because I never want to make industrial TNT again. So I have the explosive bee, and the Fluix bee is also handy for AE2 stuff. So I do have more than that, but those are just sort of the key ones that I have. I also have crops up here. So this is tin, copper, lead, and silver. This is sugarcane, blaze reed, and wither reed. This is ender bloom and tear stalks, and these are stone lilies. So nether stone lilies, white stone lilies, which I'm using to get calcium for fertilizer, and yellow stone lilies for tungstate and platinum. And then the last bit for this world is the passive chemical area. So this is generating oxygen and nitrogen. I still have to use a compressor for now because I can't get air intake hatches yet. I think they're IV for air intake hatches, but once I can get those, that'll make life a lot easier. otherwise, I automate here the chemicals that I need a decent amount of. So this is methane from the from wood. I don't. I just have a couple of spruce bonsais up there. I think it's like 3 that's producing the wood for this. This is sulfuric acid. There was meant to be other stuff here, but there won't be now because I'm going to move into the other void world, as I mentioned before. This is this whole setup is for advanced glue for graphene. This is I want to say phthalic acid or phthalic acid. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. I originally did this for the some bees like the titanium bee, etc. I don't have the titanium bee yet. I have the bees that I have the breeds that it needs. I've just not actually bred the titanium bee yet. But yeah, this is mostly for bees that I've got this set up. But obviously, this will have to move. And then these are the basic these are the basic plastics, so polyethylene and PVC, and then PTFE over there. And then silicone rubber is over here. So, and these are all going into tanks of varying sizes over here, which then go back into my AE network. I have a fluid terminal over there. So a lot of the chemistry I'm still doing by hand at the moment, but obviously just being able to go to the fluid terminal and pull out any of these fluids is, makes things a lot easier. So yeah, so as I said, I'm happy with how this world's turned out in terms of what I've got built, but it's just a bit of a pain to build in. So so what we'll do is we'll nip over to my void world. There's not much in there right now. So we'll nip over to my void world when I find my portal. Oh, over here is my Minecraft, Formcraft area. I don't do much Formcraft at the moment. I just stole this setup off the wiki, the square infusion setup. But I've still managed to break it somehow. The infusion stuff works, so the jars all get the essentia and whatnot, but the formatarium doesn't work for some reason. So, but that's fine. I'm most likely not going to be doing any more Formcraft until I get the until I do Formic Energistics. That'll probably be the next Formcraft that I do. The biggest reason I did this was for the nano suit and the dislocator wand. Was basically the biggest reasons that I did Formcraft initially. But obviously I want to make ender chests and all that, so ender chests, ender tanks, etc. So I will need to look into that. And then I have 2 nodes over here. This is not real rain. This is fake Formcraft rain because I have warp. So what will happen is once I've moved everything out of that world, I will probably just delete that dimension or just leave it. It's not doing any harm. But either way, what I have done is I've moved into here. Or I will be moving into here, sorry. So there's nothing in here right now, really. The only thing that's in here is the power setup. That I intend to use. So this is just a standard benzene setup with a industrial coke oven, centrifuge to generate the nitrogen for the oven. The crops are all 31 crops, which is why they which is why they're in the checkerboard pattern to avoid weed spread. I've left room for the chemical plant when I eventually get there to nitrobenzene. I have room for more DTs if needed. There's 4 there, but I have room for more if needed. Gas turbines will go here, and then I've started to lay out what this might look like. So this will probably be cetane boosted diesel with from fermented biomass, because I want to do multiple power sources. So this will obviously be another set of crops. I want to do multiple power sources, and I want the chemicals from fermented biomass. to make things like epoxy. So I might as well take that biodiesel and do something with it. Down here will be crops and bees. Yeah, down here will be crops and bees. And then up here will be AE stuff. So there'll be the controller for my transport network, where all the P2P tunnels and whatnot will live. Storage. These will be where these will be crafting CPUs, where the crafting CPUs go, etc. Obviously, I may need more of all this stuff, in which case I'll probably just expand somewhere, probably just expand out from the side or something like that. This will be the main controller. This is current. I've made room for a 5x5 block. I don't know if that'll be big enough. If anyone has any, I can't remember how many channels this gives me, but if anyone has any sort of rough idea of how many channels they needed on their main controller for later in the game, that'd be cool. Obviously, I'll be using things like subnets and so on. So, yeah, hopefully I'll be managing channels efficiently enough that that'll carry me pretty far. And then up here, I don't know what I'm going to do with the roof yet. I may move my Formcraft stuff to the roof, so replace all this hempcrete with grass and put the Formcraft stuff up here. I like to have a more natural type atmosphere for the magic stuff. And then this is my stairway to the heavens. So I will have, on each of these platforms will be something that represents a given tier. So this one here, for example, would be the tier 1 rocket. And I will definitely have each tier's rocket going up this stairway. And at the moment, it all leads to a big question mark, which is, am I going to put a gate here? If I go to gate, then I will probably put the gate up here. Obviously, this is just obviously I may need to redesign this, later on. But as far as I'm aware, this should be fine to fit, to fit what I want to fit on it, and the gate should fit up here as far as I'm aware. So that will be but at the moment it's just a question mark representing uncertainty because I don't know if I'm actually gonna go to gate. And I think that's it. To be honest. So the next video will most likely not come until I've moved into this void world. There's a lot of work for me to do, and it's not very fun. Moving all my IC2 crops, moving all my bees, etc., etc. None of that's fun. So I will probably do another tour once I've actually moved into this void world, and then after that it'll be basically when I hit milestones. The next tier of rocket, the next machine tier, or finishing a big project, or finishing a processing line like the plat line, or finishing or the knack line, or finishing a project, etc. I may upload videos while I'm doing those things rather than just after. But we'll see. I'm not a full-time creator, so this will be very ad hoc. It is a bit of a diary for me as well as sharing my adventure with the world. I am an IT nerd by trade. I am a platform engineer by trade with a software development background, so I am definitely interested in looking into some open computers stuff and seeing some of the cool things that I can do with open computers, especially with integrations into things outside of Minecraft, such as web applications and so on. So I will definitely be looking into that, but that'll probably go into its own playlist because I know that sort of stuff won't appeal to everyone. So I'll probably put open computers into its own playlist. And finally, I think that's it. I think it's just, I think I can wrap up. Thank you very much if you've made it this far. If you've made it this far, thank you very much. And I hope you all have a great day. And I hope that I can have another video out soon. If you have any feedback, obviously this is literally my first public upload to YouTube, so it's obviously probably going to be a bit rough. The videos will be unedited. I will just be recording me playing and giving voiceover. They will be unedited. But if there's any feedback, obviously, um, I would appreciate that, whether it be about the video or about my setup in general within the in the world. Also, if there's anything that people want me to make a video on specifically, a specific mechanic or a specific mechanic, a specific setup, anything that's more specific than just recaps, as it were, then obviously also feel free to hit me up, and if I have time, then I'll try and do that, because this pack does have a lot of interesting mechanics. I do intend to try and explore other things like Botania and stuff like that as well. Witchery, is it? As well. So, but yeah, and if there's anything specific that people want to see, then obviously, feel free to leave a comment, and I might hopefully be able to get around to it. But ultimately, I am playing the pack to have fun. So it might not be. So I'm not making any guarantees that I'll make a video about a particular thing. But otherwise, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you later.